What is going on, y'all? We checking out Diary of a Madman. Brad Scarface Jordan, the legendary hip hop artist from the legendary group Ghetto Boys, and a solo artist. We checking out his memoir. I forgot what you were ready to say about this. Scarface just performed last month. I saw him in concert last month, 420 at the Forum in Inglewood. Yeah, yeah. Still sharp, man. But let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna come back to my reaction. That thumbs up button.
Recording contract, you were also forced to sign to the label's management and the label's publishing company. Looking back now, it seems so obvious that it was a bad situation for us. But we were kids. We didn't know shit. The whole time, I'm thinking, it's cool. Jay's my homeboy, and my brother's not going to let anything happen to me. He'll make sure we're all right, and we're all helping each other get ahead. But that's on us. Jay would always say,
Right.
you need to make sure you get a lawyer to look over this before you sign. But the way I was looking at it, it was like, get a lawyer to look over what? See, Jay had lawyers, and we had him. Every lawyer we knew wanted $600 an hour to consult on a contract. Why do I need to stretch myself thin and spend a few $1,000s to get a lawyer to check out a few pieces of paper that are coming from a friend? And then you've got to remember, I was 16 when I signed, and I was just so happy to get on.
Oh damn.
$50,000 is a lot of money when you're that young, much less a couple of 100,000, especially when it means that you can get out of the streets and stop risking your life or your freedom just to make a buck. But as time goes on, you look around and start to realize that the label's really growing and that there's some real money to be had in the music business. And then you start thinking about who's bringing in a lot of that money and who's making all of the records that everybody's talking about and who's really helping to build the label into a powerhouse and a destination. But you can't get any straight answers about the bread. And it just starts to be like, well, what the fuck is really going on here? I remember hanging out with Cool G Rap back in the early 90s, around the time we cut Two to the Head with Bushwick Bill and Ice Cube for his Live and Let Die album. This was the song Biggie later sampled me saying, so die motherfucker die, for Ready to Die. And G-Rap was telling me he was about to get $250,000 for something or another. And I was like, God damn, that's a lot of money. No offense to G-Rap, he's a fucking legend, and he deserves every dollar that ever came his way. But the Ghetto Boys had hits. Mind Playing Tricks on Me was a top 40 record with crossover radio spins. It was a certified gold single with over 500,000 copies sold. And I didn't know anything about a $250,000 payday. After We Can't Be Stopped and Mr. Scarface's Back came out, I got a check for about $137,000. Looking back and knowing what I know now, I know I was getting fucked. It's the oldest story in the book. It was always something. Like, I'd get a statement with no check attached, and then when I'd ask what happened to the royalties on that project, or why I wasn't getting paid, they tell me it was because I was unrecouped or some shit.
You didn't make the money
Or
back.
let's say there was a $700,000 advance from Priority or Virgin for a project, and we spent $350,000 to make the album. It would turn out that the $350,000 we spent was my half, and the other half went to the label. It was like we were slaves coming to the master after picking the cotton, looking for some sort of compensation for all of the hard work, only to be told, well, looks like the crop didn't come in this year like it was supposed to. Maybe next year. And this was every 6 months. I'd get an advance or enough money to eat so I could keep working or maybe get a new car, almost like a handout, like, here, take this. I never knew what exactly I was getting paid for at any given time. More often than not, at some point, I'd be told that I actually owed the label money.
Oh damn.
I was almost always unrecouped. Whenever I'd ask about seeing some paperwork to clarify everything, the response was always the same. We're getting it together, or we'll have it for you soon. And so we'd go back out on the road, come back to Houston, ask about seeing the documents, and they hit me with, oh, we had to put someone else on it because the other guy fucked it up, or, oh, right, we're getting it together now. Always something.
Looking for a professional photographer for your next big event? Need video of your special day? Then look no further. For $100 an hour, have a professional photographer or videographer shoot your wedding, birthday party, quinceañera, bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, anniversary party, or whatever your special occasion may be. Highlight your event with professional, crisp photos and video. Check out Charles Arness Photography on Instagram, as well as book us for your next event. Must live in the Southern California area.
Always not delivering. And when I would finally see the statements, there were so many deductions, there was no way I'd have anything coming to me, and I probably owe the label again. I think even if the contracts could be read a different way, there were just so many loopholes that it felt like there was no way I could ever get a fair deal. And this went on for years. But James just kept selling me a dream. He was an incredible salesman. It was always next time. Next time I stopped by, or next time I had a hit. Next time it would all get worked out and we would all get paid. Just next time. Of course, then next time would turn into 5 years, which would turn into 10 years, which would start to turn into 20 years, and finally it'd just be like, God damn, bro, when are you going to start sending me some fucking money? And I'd just be back in the same cycle. Well, we just set up a new accountant, or we're looking at it, but we've got a new system. And the next thing I know, years have passed, and I haven't seen anything explaining what money was coming in, where it was coming from, where it was going, why it wasn't going to me, nothing. All of that time, and I haven't seen shit. And the worst of it was, in order to get an advance on the money I'd already made for records I'd already sold, it seemed like they would always ask me to sign a contract extension. It didn't matter what I needed the money for. Even if it was to bury a family member, the response would always be, cool, but before we can cut you a check, just sign up for a few more albums and a few more years on the label. Again, this is for records I'd already made and sold. It just felt like they always had me over a barrel, and I was fucked. I just never thought James would do me like that. We'd both started together trying to make something off of music, make an impact, be heard, and get rich. I saw every gold and platinum album, every song used in a soundtrack or in a commercial, every show, every guest verse, every new signing, as our victories and our wins. Together we were beating a corrupt-ass, fucked-up system by rewriting the rules and creating a whole new playing field for a brand new game. But they weren't our victories. They were his. And to anyone coming up in the game, please take this advice. You get in the homeboy business and you think you're going to make it with your friend. But the sad truth is, 9 times out of 10 in that situation, your homeboy isn't going to play fair because he isn't really your friend. It's on you to handle your business. Act accordingly. As for me, after my homies didn't deliver my big payday as planned, I stopped recording. I was mad done.